Chinese Communist Party will hold its most important political event in 5 years, the 19th Communist Party Congress. It will select a new set of party leaders and define the policy direction for the next half-decade. At the same time, the Congress will be a referendum of the work that President Xi has done in his last years, and the outcomes of the gathering will indicate how successfully he has consolidated his power, how much support he has for his agenda, as well as how his agenda will evolve in the coming years.
Maybe you can just take us into your personal mood right now. Such an event upcoming every 5 years. What do you feel like? And what is maybe the one key issue you now watch out for?
The focus of attention will be the degree of majority in terms of membership of the 205-member Central Committee, the 25-member Politburo, and most significantly, the 7-member Politburo Standing Committee, the degree of majority which Xi Jinping will enjoy. And I'm sure that he will have the run pretty much of these senior organizations. And another indication of Xi Jinping's impending supremacy will be the fact that his ideas, his instructions, his guiding philosophy for the party and state, so-called the Xi Jinping thought, would be most likely enshrined in the party constitution as the equivalent to Mao Zedong thought. And this is precisely his goal 5 years ago. That means to establish himself as the second most powerful politician since the Communist Party was founded.
I'm not living in high expectations of this event as if it's going to alter China's course or we're going to have any major surprises. Of course, all these party congresses are highly scripted events. Nothing happens by chance. They are not about the future, unlike meetings in the West, which lay out an agenda for the next 4 years. That's not what Chinese party congresses are about. They are a restatement of the past 4 years or 5 years. I think Xi Jinping has spent the last 5 years decimating different constituencies in the Chinese system. I find the military a very stressed institution. I find the party a very stressed institution. I find the civil sphere extremely stressed. Xi Jinping's first 5 years, we can talk about his record of accomplishment. Frankly, I don't think there's a lot of accomplishment. He's broken a lot of rice bowls, a lot of iron rice bowls. He's alienated large segments of the elites and different bureaucracies. We're not going to get a lot of new information about where China's headed coming out of this Congress, I don't think. Therefore, I'm not very anticipatory. It's a kind of non-event.
Decision-making has been very poorly done in the past 5 years. It has deteriorated mainly because Xi Jinping has broken one of the two major recommendations of Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping made many very wise decisions at the institutional level. One is no official should be able to build up a personality cult. Secondly, the country should be run by a collective leadership. Thirdly, there should be meaningful separation of party and state. What has happened in the past 5 years is that Xi Jinping has stood all these Deng Xiaoping instructions on their heads.
So what is really his vision, or what is new about his program?
It's one of a state or party dominant, not a state dominant system that stands tall in the world, is a major power, and he's had this whole major country relations. But the pieces of the puzzle I don't really see there in his broad vision for building China. The odd thing is he writes about governance, but where's the governance? It's all about him. There's no decentralization. There's no empowerment of the party itself. There's no empowerment of local committees. There's no separation of party and state. That ended really in 1989. The state doesn't have any real autonomy in economic decision-making. The party has really taken over a lot of spheres that had been moved elsewhere. And one can say, in fact, that the Xi Jinping period has been a retrogression.
So my takeaway message tonight is that probably our relationship with China under Xi Jinping will be much more challenging. And I think the one thing we all could do is 对话中国, be in touch with China, with Chinese in Germany, in Berlin, with Chinese overseas. We cannot reach out to Xi Jinping, but I think to be in touch, to listen to each other, that's probably the most important things we can do and we will do.